This will be a Gospel of Thomas, translated by Thomas O. Lambden. Why this one? No reason. Literally, period. No reason at all. I'm not grading, graphing, or comparing this to any other. I'm simply choosing to read this, and that is all. This will be my very first video after explaining and defining basically the lens of understanding from which I explain things. So if you want to understand what I'm talking about when I not define this, but describe it in understanding, you want to understand that, go check out that playlist on the lens that I'll be speaking from. That's all. I'm not going to overly explain it. I'm just going to point. It's over there. You don't understand, go watch those. And the reason there's no camera, I'm not the point in this. Understanding is. Understanding the Gospel of Thomas is the point, not me. And the understanding of what I'm going to say is more important than even seeing me. So having a camera is somewhat counterproductive right now. So until I think it's appropriate for the situation or going forward, then I'm not going to have one. Because it's irrelevant right now. Because I'm not sharing me, I'm sharing understanding. I'm going to be describing understanding, put in simple terms, the Gospel of Thomas to life. Not me. I'm not going to be adding any of me to this. It's easier to understand than explain. Okay? That's all. Which is exactly why I made those videos describing how I'm going to be speaking and understanding and expressing and everything. Because it's such a tongue twister to try and explain, and it's like a cat chasing its tail. It's just hilariously chaotic. So, you know what? It's the first one I'm doing. Forgive me if it's not polished. I don't care. That's not the point. It'll get there if I just keep doing it. Here's the first one. It will be what it will be. So, let's get to it. After I clear my throat. Ooh. Nice. I got 2 giant mounds of snow in front of my house, and I don't know if this is a burrow or what. They're out there with the plow and a 11. Enough of those numbers. They're out there machinery and just cleaning up all the big piles of snow. Which they usually haven't ever done before. But we haven't had snow like this since the 90s. All right, let's begin. The Gospel of Thomas. These are the secret sayings which the living Yeshua spoke and which Thomas wrote down. And again, forgive me, that I'm literally just going to be saying Yeshua as much as I can instead of Jesus, because Yeshua was his name in his language. He didn't name himself Jesus. No matter who came up with that name, it wasn't original. So if I want to be honest, and again, I have no choice in being honest, saying Jesus instead of Yeshua, knowing the difference, is wrong. And I simply will not participate in that. That is all. Excuse me for one moment. Excuse me for that. I will try to remember to cut that little empty space out. The kids are just being too loud in the background. All right. 1. And he said, whoever finds the interpretation of these sayings will not experience death. I'm just going to speak these as however I see fit. I'm just going to talk, okay? I'm not going to talk as if I'm learning it all new, anything it points to. I'm just going to speak. And if you can't keep up or you don't understand, just keep going. Whoever finds the interpretation of these sayings will not experience death. It's not referring to physical death. That is inevitable. That is a part of physical reality. And forgive any background noise. Like I said, there is big machinery outside the house cleaning up the snow. It is talking about the inner essence of you, death. Because that which aligns with what is from God stays with God, stays with life, and does not die. But that which is in absence of life, which is from God, that just ends. Two, Yeshua said, let him who seeks continue seeking until he finds. When he finds, he will become troubled. When he becomes troubled, he will be astonished, and he will rule over the all. I'm just reading this again, silencing myself, trying to understand it. Or just break it down out loud. Fine. Let him who seeks continue seeking until he finds. I'm gonna seek what now? Okay. First, I'm going to say, if it's not being physically, or if it's not being literally physical in reference, if it's not making literal physical reference, then I'm going to understand as the only thing it points to all of biblical teachings, that which is within. If it's not making physical references, it's referring to that which is within. So let him who seeks continue seeking until he finds. I'm going to take that as internal understanding. I'm talking about internally, the very essence, the very core within. The very place understanding happens, and everything and expression flows from that place. So if you're seeking understanding of something, it can't be physically in the world and understood if you don't understand it first. That's an illusion. So that's why it says, like, let him who seeks continue seeking till he finds. It's internally referenced. I'm just getting going here. I'm thinking out loud. If it doesn't make any sense, I'm just dissecting it and understanding it and analyzing it, trying to make that one section make sense. Maybe it'll make the next section trying to understand what's unfolding in that little verse there, if you understand what I'm saying. Like I said, I'm going to be understanding this out loud instead of just sitting here in silence. When he finds, he will become troubled. When he becomes troubled, he will be astonished. You know what? I don't know on that one. I'm not going to sit here and say I know everything. I'm not going to sit here and jackhammer the road on one single verse trying to understand it until I get an answer. No. Because rule over the all, that's a point. Like, that one makes me, obviously, referring to Yeshua and God. It's confusing me right now, because the very essence within us, it's not about ruling anything. It's about harmony with life. So that's what's throwing me off now. What makes me think he's referring to actual life authority, God's authority. That's what, all right, I'm moving on. It's like I said, I'm just getting started here. I'm not gonna get all crazy over freaking one verse, trying to understand it. Yes, and 3, moving on to the next one, Yeshua said, if those who lead you say to you, see, the kingdom is in the sky, then the birds of the sky will precede you. If they say to you, it is in the sea, then the fish will precede you. Rather, the kingdom is inside of you, and it is outside of you. When you come to know yourselves, then you will become known, and you will realize that it is you who are the sons of the living Father. But if you will not know yourselves, you will dwell in poverty, and it is you who are that poverty. That's a good one. It's like, see, the kingdom is in the sky, then the birds of the sky will precede you because they're there first. The birds are already in the sky. Same thing with the fish in the sea. That's why I say it will precede you. They're there first. But no, it's saying it's basically everywhere. It's inside, it's outside, it's in the sea, the air, the fish, everything. That right there. Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot I'm recording the screen as well, and I could interact with it visually for people too. Forgive me, because not having a camera is throwing me off. That, and like I said, I'm just starting. Up until that point, highlighted right there, up until rather the kingdom is inside of you and it is outside of you. Up until that point, that verse is referring to the very essence of life that animate, that is the foundation of all existence. It is the very essence that either flows in presence or in absence. That's what that's referring. That's what I mean. It is everywhere. If you see a fish exactly as it is regarding life itself, the very essence of everything, then you will see and understand. But if you filter it through yourself first, through that process of understanding, then all you will ever see is what you yourself want to see and not what it is itself, which is prior and regardless of you. That's how I see everything. That's how I'm reading everything. And to see that is the very essence of life. I look to my left, I see my little turtle, my red ear slider Pickles, little red ear slider turtle. And just sit here and just enjoy the turtle. Not my turtle. Yeah. I mean, I take care of it. You say I own it. That's irrelevant. It's like to just sit here and just be in a state of gratitude for just that little turtle's existence. For just the turtle itself. In presence of life. Because that's the state it's in. That's how to see it. To just step out of the way and just let it be. And just see it for what it is. That's what that highlighted area is pointing to. That's why I said that's why I said rather the kingdom is inside of you and it is outside of you. It is everywhere. You just got to stop looking through yourself. Okay. When you come to know yourselves, then you will become known, and you'll realize that it's you who are the sons of the living Father. But if you will not know yourselves, you will dwell in poverty, and it is you who are that poverty. Okay, well, first, let me just speak on this right now, honestly, and I'm just going to literally say it and move on because it's the truth. Not my opinion. None of that crap. When you come to know yourselves, then you will become known. Okay. Known by God. I will say that bit. And you will realize that as you are the sons of the living Father. That bit, okay, you cannot claim. There is not a single being in existence that can claim anything, and I literally mean anything, from God's authority. So you can't, I mean, Yeshua, that was basically God as a person. I mean, I'm not refuting it. Anybody else, no. There's no person, no other anything's to claim but that which is God, because it's his to claim. Nobody else. That's all I will say on that. I'm not saying, you get intimate with life itself and understanding and whatnot, and then, you will be in this status with God. No, only God could claim that. Only that which is God can claim that. No human being, nothing else but that which is God, which Yeshua was, and that's why he's the only exception. But if you will not know yourselves, you will dwell in poverty, and it is you who are that poverty. That is referring to the very ignorance of life. That which is life, not you. Not how I define life, not how I interpret life, but how life itself is, expresses, flows, you name it. If you are ignorant of even yourself, you will dwell in the poverty of ignorance to life. And no amount of money, status, or anything will ever fill the void of the ignorance of life. That place you miss that everybody called home, that cliche saying that keeps getting posted on social media. Everybody yearns for a home they can no longer go back to. I'm not going to go over that because I was just about to explain that, but I'm not explaining that. I'm talking about Thomas. See, I almost caught myself running away with that. But that hollowness, that lacking, that in itself, it's not a place in time. Okay? It's an ignorance of life itself. Because if you're looking at things only through your own self lens, so to speak, everything is half-ass, to say the least. You're still filtered. Even if you see things correctly, it's still filtered. I'm referring to life itself that is not seen through any filter. And that fills that emptiness. Period. That longing for a home that no longer exists, like you got a hollow spot in your soul. That's what it is. It's the ignorance of life itself, not being able to see that which is life itself unfiltered. And again, if you want to know what I mean by that specifically, I already made a video on it in the Lens playlist about processing order. The very foundation of understanding itself. That video explains what I mean on that. How to see something in itself unfiltered. Let it show you. No different than looking at a soda bottle. Look at it as it is, not how you want it to be, think it should be, anything of the sort, filtered through yourself. That's how you have to see life itself, the very essence that flows from that which is God, that animates all of existence. All of that fills that hole. And that is the poverty, the ignorance of life. That's what that means. If you will not know yourselves, you remain in ignorance, you will be in poverty, and it is you who are that poverty, because you're ignorant and you're lacking of the very essence of life, because all you're looking at it through your lens of self, the filter of yourself. No filter. Moving on. 4. Yeshua said, the man old in days will not hesitate to ask a small child 7 days old about the place of life, and he will live. For many who are first will become last, and they will become one and the same. All right. All right. What is, now let's see, so many freaking D words. Describe. What was the other one? Describe and define. Define is filtered. Defining something is filtered. Somewhat so is describing something if you use a filter, but describing something does not require even the filter of your own perception if you add yourself to it first. Describing something is perfectly capable of removing the self-reference to even understanding it itself. So, to describe what is the similarity between the old man and a 7-day-old child about the place of life, not the place of life. What is similar? One is unburdened by the ignorance given from the world. A small child is innocent because it is freely dancing in the very essence of life. They're not thinking about anything. They are just literally, to put it specifically as deep and simple as possible, they are simply living in the endless moment of now, endlessly, until external things throw a wrench in the cog, so to speak. Until the world and its nonsense bring its weight down. A small child that old is pure in the essence of life, in the endless now. It's not hindered by anything. It is pure in existence and in life. And what is an old man? How can an old man compare to that? One begins with nothing. The other ends with nothing. But they have the same essence. Meaning, when you get old, all that nonsense, all that baggage you put on your back through your life, when you get that old, you understand how useless it really all is regarding the very essence of life and the flow of now. Like the very moment, the endless immediate moments of living are the one things that's the foundation that matters the most. You know it when you're innocent and small, and you learn it when you're old. It's like you know it, you forget it, and then you learn it again. That's the similarities between the old man and the child in that reference right there. And he will live, it says. Yeah, because it'll come flooding back, realizing the very moment of life, remaining in the very essence of the moment of now with life is all that truly matters. Harmony with life. For many who are first will become last, and they will become one and the same. I just explained that. You begin innocently ignorant of the nonsense, and therefore you are in pure harmony with the very essence of life and the flow of the very moment of existing. Tomorrow's always ahead. Behind is merely information. The past is merely information. The future is infinite possibilities that stem from the very now moment endlessly that we live in. That moment becomes one and the same between an innocent young child and an old man that goes through life and learns once again what truly matters. And it was already there in the beginning. There's your first, there's your last. That was a good one. Now again, if you want, I'm just going to pause for a moment. That can get a drink. Now, and this is just simply suggesting a tool for analytic purposes, however you want to say it. If you don't understand what I'm referring to or how I'm talking or like what's he mean, copy the transcript and go have one of these freaking, I don't know how many of these freaking AI softwares, and ask it to analyze it for you and make sense of it. Because otherwise, like I said, my videos at the Lens plays what I'm referring to when I say life and the now and everything else. I've already explained that. But if you still can't understand it, all I could do is point to where you could get assistance. That's all I could do. Now, actually, excuse me for a moment. I got to use the bathroom. Mr. Kaiser. Now, if I could remember to edit that moment of silence out and getting back situated in my seat. Oh, and primarily here, I should have started with this too. None of this is for attention, likes, follows, none of that. I'm going to be doing this kind of stuff on anything and everything in some way, shape, or form for the rest of my life. Whether it puts me on the street in poverty, or whether I can just simply make a decent living off it, or whether it goes even further and I can help others. I don't know. I don't care. I'm going to keep doing it regardless of opinion, whether of anything. I'm just going to share information, share understanding, share life in the very essence of it in every way I can. That's all I'm going to be doing my whole freaking life now. So I'm not doing this. I'm not reading this just to, I got to share my opinion. I got to get likes and follows and get attention. I apologize. I'm not insulting anybody's priorities. I am simply stating life itself, the very essence of life, that which is God gives, is pretty much the only priority. It is literally the only priority I have of, like, the only anything definition of anything. It's just for that. The very essence of something that is beyond everything else, but is included in everything else, flowing through. It gets rambling in explanation and description. I am doing this for the rest of my life for the sole purpose of sharing an understanding of something that is beyond all other comparisons, beyond the self, beyond owning the whole freaking world, even, if you want me to straight up be honest with you. That's what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life in some way, shape, or form. I'm not being anti-religion. I'm not being anti-anything. I'm just simply being. And whatever comes of that in society or anything else, it is what it is. So I'm just getting that out there now. I'm not doing this for any other reason. I don't care who does what for what reason. I'm not condemning anyone for anything. I'm saying that is not my interests at all. I have no interest in it. I'm just being honest. That's not a priority or even registered. Hell, the only thing that'd be sad about this and none of this getting out there is that nobody received the understanding, the information. That's all. I'm going to turn around and check out what they've been doing out there. Still across the street. Ooh, that's loud. I apologize. No, I don't apologize because I'm not the one out there doing it. That's what I mean. Oh, I apologize for the disruption. Well, I can't help it. It's outside of my influence. There's nothing I could do against it. There's nothing I could do for it. I didn't do either. So I can't apologize. I can't do anything about it. What? Stop and not record? No, I don't feel like doing that. That's all. Don't mind me. I'm just getting in the groove here. I'm just starting to have a good time. Like, just... All right. I like that one. That was a good one. 5. Yeshua said, recognize what is in your sight, and that which is hidden from you will become plain to you. For there is nothing hidden which will not become manifest. Which, again, would you highlight properly, please? See, that's why I don't do it, because it's this crap. I don't want those stupid freaking bar. I don't know how to remove those. That's freaking AI crap they added. I think that's what that button is. Those two I haven't. I think that's probably a text message or comment, highlight. It's like, I just want to highlight. Just highlight. Don't pop up a little bubble and window. All right. Recognize what is in your sight, and that which is hidden from you will become plain to you. It is the process of understanding itself. It is the very process of understanding. It's in your sight to understand. Until you understand, it is hidden, ignorant. You are ignorant, hidden. It is hidden from you. And then once you understand, it will become plain to you. There's nothing hidden which will not become manifest. If it's possible to be held within the structure of physical reality to recognize, then nothing is hidden, and you can analyze and understand it, and it will become plain to you. Again, it keeps, like, every majority of everything it says is talking about that which is within. And the very singular state of understanding of itself is a state within. And that's what that's talking about. See, if you understand something within understanding of itself, like I said, you understand a singular bottle of soda, bottle of water, whatever. You hold it within your your understanding itself. Not uses, just simply understand. You don't add yourself to it. What is this thing in every which way within the singular state of understanding? That's how it becomes plain. That is where you analyze things. That is where you understand things. That is how they are hidden, and that is how they become plain. And again, nothing hidden that will not become manifest, which that is talking about, to manifest something is to harmonize it in the now. So the future that flows into the now, that comes from the now, is an endless flow in and of itself, which is life itself, continuity, cause and effect. Beyond that will manifest. If you try, to put it simply, if you try to be a good person consistently in the very moment, it's like literally just sitting there telling yourself over and over and over within, be a good person, just generally. Not specifically, just generally. If you constantly, subconsciously, even consciously, just keep telling, just be a good person, what's going to flow from that endless state of now reminder? You will become a good person. That future will flow into the now and from the now. It's the cycle of life itself. That is the essence of life. It either flows to and from, or it's an absence and it doesn't flow. It just ends or takes away. All about harmony. Honesty, harmony, everything I named in those videos. I'm getting worked up. This is fun. Yeah, I'm having fun. I really am. This is fun for me. And it's not, I'm not, like, I am a religious, okay. I am a religious person. Excuse me. I am a religious person, but I am not confined to the man-made structural definition of religion. There is a difference. I follow that which is God and flows from Him, not the designs and the structures of man. There's only one essence of life that flows from God. One. Only one. Not how many other religions there are. There's only one essence of life. That's all. I'm not talking, I'm not saying anything about anybody else's opinion, way of life, anything. I'm simply saying life, the very essence of life, is singular in it of itself. It is not defined by man. It flows and defined from that which is God. That is all I'm saying. That I belong to. That's all I'm saying. All right. 6. His disciples questioned him and said to him, "Do you want us to fast? How shall we pray? Shall we give alms? What diet shall we observe?" Excuse me. Yeshua said, "Do not tell lies. Do not do what you hate, for all things are plain in the sight of heaven. For nothing hidden will not become manifest, and nothing covered will remain without being uncovered." Well, why are you doing that, you stupid highlight? I'm literally just trying to highlight, and it still brings up that stupid thing. I hate that. It's like it's bypassing the original design of highlighting something. It's supposed to make it highlighted, not secondary to two stupid little bubbles that go over it. That is an oxymoron. Those stupid bubbles are contradicting what highlighting something is. Duh. Anything for the internet and programming and software and nonsense. Come on. Even the simple things they're being ignorant of. Like, what the ooh. Like these. If you're watching and not listening, no. That kind of stuff deserves to be in the right click. Let me see if that. I'm just real. Okay. Well, I removed one little bubble, but I don't know how to remove the other. The other two. You know, that's comment. I don't want to. I want to remove it. All right. Yeshua said, "Do not tell lies. do not do what you hate, for all things are plain in the sight of heaven. For nothing is hidden, will not become manifest, and nothing covered will remain without being uncovered. Again, the flow of that which is life itself. Because everything flows back into itself. Everything from the very moments of now, they only have one way to go forward into the future that arrives. The now is going forward, and the future is coming backward into us. That's what flow, to and from, first and last. Anything you throw into the future, meaning you throw it forward because you don't want to take accountability for the now, that is a lie. That is what a lie is. You tell a lie because you don't want to take accountability for the now. That always returns. That is the flow of life. That is the flow of reality. That is the flow of existence. And that is all the things that are in plain sight of heaven. Because that's what I mean. It doesn't matter if it's true or lies. Anything you throw into the future by telling a lie of something that is true, because you don't want to face accountability of the truth, it always comes back into the now. No matter how many times you throw it, it always returns until you are no longer here to take accountability. And when that happens, guess what? Too late. And that is the whole point. It keeps coming back for us. So you stop throwing, what's it called? Stop throwing obstacles or waste or anything negative, anything that is bad into the future, because it's just going to pile up and come back at you. The more problems you deal with now, no matter how superficial, no matter how deep they are, the less you have to deal with walking forward in the now. It's like everybody thinks, oh, I'm going to put it off. I'm going to put it off as if it'll go away. I am sorry. I have to break your illusion for a moment. But only two things will ever happen. One, it'll always come back. Or you will not be here for it to come back to. And that is even worse. That is the worst outcome. Not being here anymore to take accountability, which means you're going to be completely held accountable of everything at once. Deal with everything in life one thing at a time until your backpack no longer weighs anything, or keep throwing weights back there until it basically crushes you. And when you put that in perspective, that which is within us, the very essence of us, when you talk about it in that sense, yeah, it's either lose the weight and continue in life, in the very essence of life. I'm talking about that which is within, or spiritual death. The very essence of yourself no longer being in the presence of life, but being absence. Because that is what you kept throwing into the future, was its absence, the very absence of life. Throwing accountability into the future, hoping it would go away. It never, ever will. That was another good one. Oh, I'm only in the beginning. Oh, jeez. It's been an hour. Oh, you be. Like, I could do this all day, every day. That's the whole point. That's why I said I'm doing this, something like this for my rest of my life. I'm not talking about a societal role. I'm not talking about a purpose. I'm not talking about a calling or nothing. I'm just a choice. This is something beyond me. It's all good. I'm going with that. But not in ignorance. I'm just saying it plainly, without detailed explanation. Because I'm not talking about that. Oh yes, by choice. This is what I plan. This is the kind of stuff I plan to do for the rest of my life. I'm not talking about religious preaching. I'm just talking about expressing the presence of life everywhere on anything. I'm just starting out going over religious teachings. Because, I mean, it's either point at the essence of life where it's most obvious, or start telling the world what's in absence and what should be present. No, I'm not going to start throwing stones in a glass house right now. All right. Yeshua said, "Blessed is the lion which becomes man when consumed by man, and cursed is the man whom the lion consumes, and the lion becomes man." Is that talking about, oh, I just had a brain fart. Is that talking about like ego and pride and status? Like, internally, that whole bravado and self, like elevating oneself beyond your actual status, I guess you could say. You're standing within the very essence of life itself. I'm assuming that's what the lion is in that context. Bravado and ego and all that nonsense. Like, if you put it in physical terms, it'd be like, Mr. Beefcakes. Somebody working out and all muscular and strong and bravado and showing off and flexing. Oh, look at me. Except I'm not talking about the physical. I'm not talking about the superficial. I'm talking about the essence of that which is within. The foundation of self that flows outward through the physical. Pride and ego and all that nonsense isn't a physical thing. It's a physical expression. It originates within. So that's what I'm assuming the lion is. That's why I say assume. I'm not I'm analyzing here. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. I don't care. I'm just talking out loud, analyzing and understanding. So basically, blessed is the what I just defined the lion as, ego, bravado, which becomes a man when consumed by a man, which being when a person, I'm going to say, when a person is harmonized more towards being in harmony as a human being with the essence of life itself, when that egotistical person, or however you want to put that, is, it says consumed, but I'm going to say corrected, educated, taught, however you want to put it, then becomes more of a man naturally harmonizing as a human being with the essence of life. That is blessed. And cursed is the man whom the lion consumes, and the lion becomes man. Which, again, flip the coin. It's the reverse. It's pride, ego, and narcissism, and the self-boasting and the self-elevating, the elevation, the unnatural elevation of self is what I'm taking as what is described as the lion. When that consumes the man becomes self-boasting, self-important, and whatnot, above the very foundations that matter the most. And that is cursed. That is wrong. That is the absence of life. That's simple presence versus absence of life right there. That first half, blessed is the presence of life flowing man to man in that specific spoken language definition. Not human, not person, but man. It says man, so I'm going to say man. When an elevated man is brought down back into proper harmony with life by another man that is in harmony with life, that is a blessing, and that is the very presence of life itself. When the opposite of that happens, when the prideful, the egoful, the absence of life influences and consumes another man, and he becomes a lion as well, and prideful and elevated in absence, that is cursed. That is absence of life. That right there, I will never argue against or for. I'm never. That is like absolute to me. I'm not going to move on that. That was good too. See, that's why I start with this, because it's so interesting and so fun. But it's like, again, I'm not going to stick with just religious teachings, because that's just one thing to enjoy. I could do this with anything, and it's fun. For me, it is. Understanding things themselves is fun for me. That is playtime for me. Dissecting understanding of something itself, or what it means itself, is fun. It doesn't matter if it's, say, the state of gratitude, awareness, A turtle. Hello, basking in the sun lamp next to me. Hello, pickles. Or a bottle of soda, or a car, or a motorcycle, or another person, or a bird, the weather. All singularities to understand within themselves. And that's fun. That's all. I have fun doing that. That's playtime for me. I love to just understand anything and everything as it is. Especially when it comes to presence or absence, because it's all right. 8. And he said, the man is like a wise fisherman who cast his net into the sea and drew it up from the sea full of small fish. Among them, the wise fisherman found a fine, large fish. He threw all the small fish back into the sea and chose the large fish without difficulty. Whoever has ears to hear, let him hear. Again, this is just the same explanation as has been said on the pearl, which is more widely known. This is just another saying for the same thing. They're naming the very same foundation, same answer. What is that fine, large fish? It is the very essence of life itself. That's the answer. When you find that, when you find out what matters most, which is the very essence of life itself, absence or presence, then the beauty of everything magnifies. Nothing gets added. It just magnifies in truth, in honesty, in harmony. And then absence is what it is. It ends as it is. So it's like knowing that, I mean, you can't put a price tag on that. That's the whole point. It's like, it doesn't matter if you have, a Scrooge McDuck freaking vault of gold coins. If you find one thing that's more valuable beyond even that comparison, then yeah, it doesn't matter how many gold coins you got in that vault. If you got one thing that is truly worth more than anything of those things themselves. The very essence of life is the foundation of everything. Remove money, remove power, authority, remove status, wealth, everything. Does the very essence of life remain? Yes. So how is that of any comparison of value? It's not. It's like holding a handful of pure water versus muddy, polluted water. That's all. Doesn't matter how many small fish you got. Because basically, once you know that, you could be given all the riches of the world, and all they become is a tool to be used in the presence of the essence of life. That's all. hierarchy of value of existence, of everything. Remove one, does the other remain? Yes. Therefore, okay, you remove everything I said and leave the essence of life. Does the essence of life remain? Yes. So therefore, wealth, status, ego, bullshit, all that nonsense, did that have authority over life? No. So therefore, that hierarchy, importance and whatnot, it's not important. It doesn't have authority over it. Remove the essence of life, does anything at all remain? No, it doesn't. So everything is in the service, to be used in the service of the essence of life itself. Not ourselves, not each other, but the essence of life, and everything will flow from that. That is why the small fish don't matter in that sense. Or the field, and he finds one pearl in it or something, or no, the merchant, or no, he found the merchant had the pearl and he sold all his belongings because he knew nothing else mattered but the very essence of life. And you give everything to get that, because everything flows from that. You give up everything, but you gain infinitely more. And that's what people don't understand. That's what they're afraid of. I don't want to lose what I got, thinking they're only looking at it from a loss and absence of life point of view. They're not realizing they got to get rid of the nonsense and the absence to be in the presence. Too worried about losing what they are, or what they got, who they are, etc., etc., etc. They're not realizing what else there really is. And there is so much more. Hour and 17. Itchy nose. All right. So I've only read this gospel. I've never read the whole Bible. I've never read them all. I've been educating on teachings my whole life. I've seen all the videos. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. I've seen all those old shows, all those old movies, all documentaries, and then YouTube came around. I've watched, learned as much as I can without actually sitting down and reading. That's all I'm saying. I read this specific Gospel of Thomas once before, months ago. So this is all new. None of this is scripted or planned. This is all in the moment. I'm not putting out a performance. I don't have notes. The only thing on the screen is that. Look, I'll even alt tab, look. And then there's the recording file. And there's the file right there being recorded as we speak. And there's Streamlabs desktop, and all it's doing is recording the screen and the microphone. There's no physical notes written here or nothing. So I'm literally this is what I'm doing. And even though I read this once, months ago, I'm reading it again, but it's not fresh. I didn't memorize it. I just read it once, analyzed it a little bit, and that was it. That's what I'm doing for now. in this playlist, so to speak. Oh, geez, that turtle. It's there on the log or on the piece of wood, the fake piece of wood floating. It's on its belly and it's got its legs just stretched straight out. Its arms just dangling there like, I'm on top of the world. And it's just blinking, staring at me. Just looking at me. What are you doing, Pickles? You winking at me now? About time. First time today the thing came up and is basking in its sun lamp, so I'm just sitting here like, that's cool. But yeah, no, after this, I'm just going to be going over, playlists of freaking biblical teachings, reading it in the moment. Some will be the first time, some won't be, and just going over it and describing it in the moment. Describing, not defining. Well, none of this is, I'm not sitting here intending at all. You know what? Forget it. I'm trying to explain what I already made videos explaining. Old habits, I apologize. Let's move on. Actually, let's backtrack a second. Whoever has ears to hear, let him hear. Even though it means in a physical sense, it's not really the physical sense. You're not really hearing anything else. You're understanding. You're just so much more than even that can describe. Ears to hear, let him hear. It's like, no, that's downplaying it infinitely. Like to condense it down to one single physical sense. I'm not insulting it. It's a joke. You're literally comparing the infinite flow of the essence of life to a physical sense of hearing. That's the joke. That comparison is funny. It's so distorted, like one's tiny and one's infinite. It's like, yeah, that's funny. I'm not laughing at it. I'm not laughing at it in like a wrong way. It's like bad choice of words. Like that was like never mind. Nine, Yeshua said, now the sower went out, took a handful of seeds and scattered them. Some fell on the road, the birds and gathered them up. The birds came and gathered them up. Others fell on the rock, did not take root in the soil, and did not produce ears. Excuse me. Others fell on thorns, they choked the seeds, and worms ate them. And others fell on the good soil, and it produced good fruit. It bore 60 per measure and 120 per measure. I honestly, the 60 per measure and 120 per measure, I don't know jack squat on that. Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I do. I honestly have no idea what that's referring to. I don't understand physical analogy details of that. Whether it's I don't understand. I might be able to. I don't have enough. I don't know enough information to understand what that is referring to. There's not enough information to analyze, to have an understanding to express on. Prior to me, well, I'm going to think it means this, so I'm going to say that. No, I'm literally saying, even prior to me stating I'm not even stating opinion, but even if I wanted to state an opinion, I don't even have an understanding to state. That's what I mean. That's my process. I understand first and process self later. Because if I don't understand it first, how could I even speak on something? That's ignorance, and I don't like that. I don't process. I've never processed that way, or the opposite of that. It's always understanding first itself. Even when, even as a child, you get bullied, and it's like, it wasn't, it's not what's me, what's wrong with me, or why are they doing this to me? Yeah, those were there too, but I was also analyzing, like, what is the purpose of this cruelty itself, the act of cruelty itself? I just happened to be on the receiving end of it. That's all. So I had multiple influences of understanding in the moment of that example. I was understanding cruelty itself in the moment, and I had no choice but to receive and understand what it meant to me because I was receiving it. So yeah, it's normal to me, but to explain it sounds very chaotic, like multitasking, and it sounds weird. Like, it's within understanding, it's normal to me, but for somebody else to hear that, even when you're the victim in a current situation, that I'm still analyzing the thing itself first before it affects me. It's just, I know it sounds weird, but it's, when you're just being it naturally, it's not. So that's what I mean. It's like, I don't understand that, so I'm not going to sit here and illusionize as if I do. Even if I could define it within my own understanding without understanding itself, even if I could do that, I won't do that because it's false. That's a lie. It'd be like somebody that doesn't understand gravity saying it pulls you up because they wanted to be right. Self-delusional. It's like, I won't do that even at the smallest measure. All right. Let me. I want to really analyze the first part of that. Now, I'm going to say the seeds are the essence of a singular human existence, the internal essence of self. The seeds are those singular human beings, the very essence of them within. And fell on the road, others on rocks, and other type of environments it's fallen. I'm going to say it's only using road, or it's stating environments of seeds, but it really means environments a person is brought up in, like I just had a brain fart. One single word just literally just like, nope, I'm running away. Literally. I had one word and it just ran away from me. It's describing the environment a person will grow up in. On the road, so others fell on the rock, on hard times, difficult environments. The birds gathered them up. That is basically passing away early. That's, the birds gathered them up, gathered the seeds up, ate them up. They passed away. And do not take root in the soil. Yeah, they just got influenced by the superficiality of their environment. If you're surrounded by rocks and you don't dig your roots into soil, well, what's going to come from that? Is the seed going to get any nourishment from a rock? Is a person going to get any nourishment from a negative environment and then they reflect it? No, you're not going to produce ears. You're not going to prosper. Others fell on thorns where they choked the seeds and worms ate them. Oh. For some reason, that makes me think of that S word people need to call a hotline for. Not to say that word out loud. I don't want to flag any nonsense. Others fell on thorns. Basically being around negative people that are negatively influenced on the essence of life within a person. Choke the seed. They choked the life. Distorted the life. They made more absence than presence. And worms ate them. Meaning, the way I take that is other people choked the life from the seeds and, they ended up opting out somehow, or basically the thorns directly influenced whatever ate them. Worms, or, whatever you want to put that as. You fought, the thorns draw you, they drive you to substance abuse, alcohol abuse, whatever negative thing to drown out all the absence that other people and, living in society has put on your essence, your very core being. People come back from wars and they're so screwed because they're doing the opposite of what the essence of life is. And those are thorns from others. Other people are the thorns because shouldn't be doing that at all, period, at all. And it chokes the life from them, and that absence drowns and the worms eat them. And others fell on good soil and produced good fruit. I don't know that part, okay? Because I didn't fall on good soil, okay? I was surrounded in a swamp of rocks and rot. I'm never going to downplay my life. I'm not going to downplay it or emphasize. I'm not going to say it was any better or worse than anybody's. Nobody could live my life. But can I ever call it good soil? Absolutely not. That's all. So, as far as the others fell in good soil, I haven't analyzed good soil yet, so I don't know what it produces. And which follows right into what I explained before. It bore 60 per measure and 120 per measure. I don't know good soil, so I don't know what that references. So once again, honest ignorance. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not my fault. I grew up in the environment around the kind of people I did, and the ignorance and the lack of essence of life. I learned what absence was to learn what presence was, or is. I learned what absence was so I could learn what presence is. That I'll boast about. All right, moving on. 1.5 hours. Okay, ain't too bad. Yes, 10. Yeshua said, I have cast fire upon the world, and see, I am guarding it until it blazes. Now, let me just reword one thing in an understanding perspective. That is all. Just rename it within understanding. Because again, just because you name something else, just because you can define it from the other side of it, doesn't change the essence of what you're analyzing. What is referred to as the Holy Spirit can also be defined, the essence of it, as the very essence of life, the spirit of the essence of life. That which is within, down to its core essence, is the same thing. I am describing the essence, not defining it. Same description of essence. That's all. Don't get your panties in a bundle. And that essence, like I said, again, the essence within ourselves, individual essences of the human being within the essences of life. That is called soul, spirit, consciousness, essence of being, the center of self, etc., etc., etc. Multiple definitions, multiple ways of observing, of analyzing, of understanding, but the central essence that is being understood is the same. Hello, pickles. That's all I'm saying. Because of what Yeshua said, I have cast fire upon the world, and see, I am guarding it until it blazes. What did he set free from bondage, from the chains, from his crucifixion and resurrection? Rather, specifically from from both. He freed, in those words, the Holy Spirit. He freed it to go out into the world, into us, through us. That is the essence of life. That is the very core of your being. Where you get lit up, it feels like there is a nuclear reactor going off inside of your chest. That is the fire. And the more aligned and in harmony of the essence of life it is, the more ablaze it becomes and the more guarded it is, without even being defensive. Life itself doesn't need to be defended or anything else. It is that it is. And it is the best and greatest of all that is. Infinitely flowing into what is. It's hard to describe from understanding. To go from understanding to verbal description is so difficult. That's why it's like, yeah, I know exactly what that is talking about, and that is awesome. All right, 11. Yeshua said, "This heaven will pass away, and the other above it will pass away. The dead are not alive, and the living will not, the dead are not alive, and the living will not die. In the days when you consumed what is dead, you made it what is alive. When you come to dwell in the light, what will you do? On the day when you were one, you became two. On the day you were one, you became two. But when you become two, what will you do?" I'm not going to say anything about this heaven will pass away and the one above it will pass away. I don't know, Jack. I don't have authority of heaven. So I don't know what that means. I'm going to leave that alone, that sentence alone. The dead are not alive and the living will not die. See, now that's hard. That is hard to analyze, because we literally are living in a state where that's physically possible. Or close to it. Well, yeah, the living will not die, because I'm just talking about like attaching that to the heaven will pass away and the one above it will pass away. Because with technology, if that keeps going, it'll keep going until it hits a brick wall and we screw ourselves. It's inevitable. Because I mean, could we get to a literal physical point of living and not physically dying? They're trying to with software. That's what makes that confusing to analyze, because it's like you got two ways of analyzing it, and it's like your analytic attention keeps getting drawn in between the two, from the internally speaking and externally speaking. In the days when you consumed what is dead, you made it what is alive. Again, that could be, technology. Because quite frankly, I mean, back in the day, would say even video games, entertainment, it was imagination. It was fictional. Even video games weren't trying to look and be real. They were just trying to be imagined entertainment, an outlet from reality, where you're just playing nonsense that doesn't mean anything. It's just senseless entertainment, fun. And now, and this is probably far-fetched, I'm just like, what's conflicting my analysis? So it's like, that could be called like just dead entertainment, and you made it what is alive. That's basically like almost like VR and software. It's like everybody's trying to make the digital more real than the real, or mirror it as much as close as possible. It's like, well, what about safe playtime? Like imagination. Come on, don't you know the difference? Like that's why it's it's hard for me to analyze this, because it's like we have a literal physical direct freaking reference to it, and it's like it's conflicting to analyze, because the obvious is drawing my attention, and I keep trying to make sense of what that would mean deeper, within oneself, and I keep getting yanked out of it. When you come to dwell in the light, what will you do? Now, that is, dwell in the presence of the essence of life. But then on the day when you were one, you became two. I'm assuming that's talking about the inhabitant, like how you would biblically state the embodiment of the Holy Spirit. But was that references to or becoming? No, that's one. Shit. Now I'm getting confused with the whole marriage thing too, because it's like, wait, which is it? I'm like, wait, marriage is two become one. You know what? I don't know. There's too many confusing variables there. Really, it's like, what? I'm trying to think of structure and like what I don't know. Because if it me now this I'm just now again, this is me speaking from what I think it means, not just analyzing it neutrally. Somewhat of me, if you understand that, which sadly most people won't, because their process of understanding always includes the filter of self, through the self. And analyzing something without that filter is statistically, outside quote, only 1 to 3% of the documented analysis of the population. Or estimated. I don't know. I don't care. All right. So, in the days when you consumed what is dead, you made it what is alive. When you come to dwell, let's see, it's like as if do I continue, or do I? You see, in the days when you consumed what is dead, you made it what is alive. Does it stop there? Does it switch to the opposite now, or does it keep going? Is when you come to dwell in the light, what will you do? I don't know if that refers to consuming what is dead, or if it switched to literally dwelling in the light, as in receiving the Holy Spirit, as is biblically stated. If it's asking what will you do from that point on, then exactly what I said earlier, I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life because of this, not for this. I mean, not. I'm going to be doing this for the very essence of life, not for the structure of religion. There's a difference. And I will never apologize for that. There is a, I will name this clearly. There is a difference between being in the service of God and the essence of life that flows from God. Hold on. Somebody that wasn't the mailman went to put something in my mailbox. I didn't see anybody though, so now I gotta go look around the house or look outside, look out the windows outside the house, make sure nobody's walking around for some reason. Ooh, cold. How many, man? I tell you, these people gotta learn east from west. And their proper address. And these mailmen need to learn how to read the name on the mailbox. I'm in a single home with my name on the mailbox. In the past 6 months, I've gotten like randomly 6 different names and letters that I've gotten in the past since 2018, since I've lived here. All right, where the heck was I? But yeah, no, there's a difference between serving God and the essence of life, that which flows from that which is God and makes everything exist, and basically man-made understandings and constructs and structures and everything else. It's like I serve one, and I serve God, not man. Or not really, it's not serve, it's I got interrupted. I'm just moving on. And like I said, I apologize. This is my first one. I'm literally just trying to kick those training wheels of explanation off and just talk. But I'm not used to that. All right. Moving on. 12. The disciples said to Yeshua, "We know that you will depart from us. Who is to be our leader?" Yeshua said to them, "Wherever you are going to James the righteous, for whose sake heaven and earth came into being." Yeah, you are to go to James the righteous. Like that's just a direct, a direct reference to the structure of their discipleship. I'm guessing. Or not guess. That's not. See, I don't like to state. Like, if I state something, I always get to follow with. Always as if I'm being analyzed and contradicted by others. I hate that. Like saying, "Well, I guess." Like I make an assumption. Like, okay, yeah, that's literally what it says. All right, they're asking. We know you're gonna freaking go. Who is to lead us then? And he said, James the righteous. Why? Because he's righteous. Because for whose sake heaven and earth came into being. Oh, gas is building up my freaking chest, but not yet coming up into a freaking burp. It's just like, ugh, like, come on, that pressure. It's like I was just about to speak when that pressure just went. It's like, whoa, easy. And no, I'm not here putting on a performance to sound professional, sound proper, sound this way or that way. I'm just simply being me. Yeshua said to, yeah, and let's see. I think I'm going to stop at 16. Page 2. Oh, geez. And I don't care. I just started. Whatever, man. I'm having fun. If nobody watches this, I don't care. I care if an understanding isn't freaking received. If you see, or if all you're trying to share is another understanding that adds to more understanding, it's sad in and of itself if it's not shared and received or whatnot. And that's about the only thing I give a shit about as far as, uploading videos and followers and likes and all that nonsense. So it's not my thing. That's all I'm saying. It's, for me to singularize on that is nonsense. Just me. Yeshua said to his disciples, "Compare me to someone and tell me who I am like." I'm going to stop right there and describe what he means. He is openly asking them to analyze him and compare him for analytic purposes, to understand him. Like, he's basically saying, analyze me in another example and find the similarities. That's all. Like, the deeper thing he's saying is, analyze me and then tell me what you think. Tell me what you see. Not, I guess he's saying, how are you seeing me? But what I'm naming is simply how to see without using your own filter. Or rather, your filter of self, not your, Basically, let everything be as it is without claiming you have to own or name or have authority over everything. I don't define reality, existence of life in life or anything. So how can I possibly filter it through that? That doesn't make, to me, that doesn't make sense. And yet, statistically, 85 to 95% of the population's like that. That is disturbing to me, okay? I'm not saying it's bad. It's the literal opposite order of my process of understanding. It's to me, it's illogical. It's like, how do I define all of reality as if I'm the creator of it? No. I didn't, trust me, I would know if I made all this. Because it wouldn't look like this. It wouldn't be this. It'd be... there wouldn't be so much absence. So what? Yeah, Simon Peter, you are a righteous angel. Never read that one before. Simon Peter said to him, "You are like a righteous angel." Matthew said to him, "You are like a wise philosopher." Thomas said, "Master, I'm not the holy and capable of saying whom you are like." Yeshua said, "I am not your master because you have drunk. You have become intoxicated from the bubbling spring which I have measured out." That gas is still stuck there. And he took him and withdrew and told him 3 things. When Thomas returned to his companions, they asked him, "What did Yeshua say to you?" Thomas said to them, "If I tell you one of the things which he told me, you will pick up stones and throw them at me. Fire will come out of the stones and burn you up." I don't know. So they're drunk on the essence of life? Intoxicating from the bubbling spring which I have measured out. What's measured out? Brought forth and spoke and expressed and done? So what could he have said to him regarding the essence of life? Or nothing's coming to me, and I'm thinking it was probably something a lot higher than that. Because we're talking about, the being that the very essence of life comes from. So it's like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna go there. It's just like I could guess all I want, and until you hear it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak, then it's simply an endless guessing game, and that's boring to me. All right. 14, Yeshua said to them, "If you fast, you will give rise to sin for yourselves. And if you pray, you will be condemned. And if you give alms, you will do harm to your spirits. When you go into any land and walk about in the districts, if they receive you, eat what they will set before you and heal the sick among them. For what goes into your mouth will not defile you, but that which issues from your mouth, It is that which will defile you. If you fast, you will give rise to sin for yourself, meaning you will yearn for the superficial pleasures of easement. Why do you fast? To purify. Basically, if you want to define fasting in one word, it is one word, to purify. Which, what happens when you're purifying something? All like, forging, say, metalworking, heating it up. What comes to the surface? Impurities. Therefore, take that analogy within yourself. If you're in the forge, you're in the fire like the metal. What will be coming out of you? It'll be the rise. Sin will be coming out. It'll be rising to the surface because you will want as if you're that metal, you want to be dipped in the water. You don't want to deal with the pain of that coming forth, that sin rising, the absence of life rising, because you don't want to go through the pain of accountability to, purification. You don't want the hardships of it. You just want to be purified, but it doesn't work that way. That is sin, where you want to give up early and dip your metal into the water and cool off. But guess what? When you do that, you still have the impurities, the sin in you. Therefore, you will be condemned, and everything you give will be in sin because it'll still be there on the surface. Because you will not finish purifying yourself. You will simply bring the absence of life to the surface, that which is sin, and then you will be right there on the surface with it. And when you go into any land and walk about in the districts, if they receive you, eat what they will set before you, heal the sick among them, for what goes into your mouth will not defile you, but that which issues from your mouth is that which will defile you. Meaning, again, purifying. The impurities are on the surface. So you don't want to do anything for yourself or from yourself. What you receive will not defile you, because the people that receive you are good people. The people that won't receive you are not the kind of people you want to eat what they're giving, because they're giving bad things. Whereas the people that receive you are giving more of the presence of life. That's nourishing. But if you're purifying and you're still full of sin and absence, and you've got to purge that, and if you feed that, you will defile yourself. But if somebody is there in presence of life for you, that's nourishing. My son will be home in about a half an hour, so I'll finish this up. Yeshua said, when you see one who was not born of woman, prostrate yourselves on your faces and worship him. That one is your father. Oof, that damn gas. Probably because I'm leaning over to the microphone and I'm sitting more of an L shape instead of straight up proper. Like, or actually worse than an L shape. My legs are out, my upper body's forward. Because my kids broke my microphone arm. So I'm stuck with a little stand on my desk. One thing, Yeshua, he is that he is. I don't need to speak on anything, regarding Yeshua's authenticity. Who he was, who he claimed to be, or even the evidence outside of his direct references. There is no dispute there. None at all, so I don't need to go over that. That's not my convincing to make on others. That's their own personal relationship. Their own responsibility to understand. (16) Yeshua said, men think perhaps that is peace which I have men think perhaps that it is peace which I have come to cast upon the world. Oh, enough of this gas. It's like now it's stuck in my stomach. Like, what are you going down for? I want you to come up out of my throat. Because it's like I feel like bubbling right there every time I lean forward to talk into the microphone. Men think perhaps it is peace that which I have come to cast upon the world. They do not know that it is ascension which I have come to cast upon the earth. Fire, sword, and war. For there will be 5 in a house, 3 will be against 2, and 2 against 3, the father against the son against the father, and they will stand solitary. A mouthful for such simple explanation. The difference is, the dissension is ignorance of the essence of life and truth. Because what is the only thing that can divide anybody, any 2 people or more? Ignorance of life. The essence of life is that which is beyond, yet within and flowing from everything and everyone in ourselves. Beyond us, within us, from us, in, out, above, below, everything. It is the very blood of existence. No different, like it is an example, the blood flowing through our veins. Take it out, we are no more. Life is the blood of all of that is. It flows to and from. I mean, if you want a physical analogy, all of existence is you could compare it in within understanding to analyze it, no different than a human body. Where the very essence of life is pumping to and from every part of your body. all through your veins, all through everything. Remove that, and you are physically no more. Remove that essence of life from the very veins of existence, and guess what? All you have is absence. It's that simple. That's the ignorance that is the dissension. The ignorance of what matters most. Period. That is the essence of life. That which matters most, and it flows in the least as well. That's first and last, most and least, master and slave. It's the harmony of life. And when you have a house of people who endlessly process through the filter of themselves, what do you have? Dissension and conflict. Everything is defined and understood through the perception and understanding and filter of themselves, not the external absolute. What is the thing itself? Even the structure of understanding something is its own thing itself to analyze, to understand. Understanding itself is its own structure, singularity. Awareness is its own singular thing. Everything can be taken down to a singularity. But the singularity that flows through everything, is attached to everything, everything flows from it, is the essence of life. And something cannot come from nothing, because nothing is the complete absence of anything. Therefore, where does life come from? It comes from that which is God. That's it. There's the ignorance. So once, if you're living for yourself and you have people in the house that are living for life, I'll name it simply. If you got one person that cares about the family itself, the whole structure of the family, before even themselves, and this is a good example because I'm using my own family as an example. I'm the one in this house, in this family, that cares about the family and the individuals as a whole structure before myself. There's conflict would say anybody else in this structure of family that only serves, only perceives and filters through themselves. That's the ignorance. That's the dissension. That is what is wrong. Because if everybody understood that which matters most in the endless now and how it proceeds into the future and back into the present, back into the now, it will just end up being dissension, conflict, misunderstandings between those who do and those who don't, those who know and those who are ignorant. It's as simple as that. And honestly, if everybody understood that, he really would have brought nothing but peace, except we're not all the same. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just simply saying that makes peace more difficult. And the only way to make it easier, and I'm ending this right now on this note, and I'll continue the next time I have free time or quiet space to do this. I got 3 kids running around. I literally just lost myself there. I hate that. Oh, since everybody is so dynamic and individualism and singular and similarities, but everything, totally different. We are our own individual existences. Because of that, the peace that he brought, the knowledge, the information, the understanding of that which matters most, which is the essence of life. The only way there is separation between that is because of the dynamics of a person. Everybody's different, yet we're all the same. We're all within the same human species. And yet we are all our own singular, individual existences of self, of being. The very essence below that which we define as physical human beings. The only way you can work towards peace and make it easier, I'm just talking on 16. Peace, it's, you know what? I'm going to straight up throw that word out, and I'm just going to get off of 16 real quick because I'm done. I'm just going to say it and not refer to 16. The proper word when it comes to the very essence of life is harmony. Not peace, harmony. Physical laws still exist. Things still die and decay. Life is that it is. But when you don't add to it, you can't argue with it. It's just harmony. People die, people live, they're born, they live, they die. You don't add to it. That's the problem. That's all we do is add more and add more and add more clutter and garbage on top of the very freaking foundation. We need to clean off the freaking foundation and find harmony with life, not peace. Up will still be up, down will still be down. But the point is, don't add any more to it. And then harmony will present itself. But again, since people are so individually dynamic, it can't be just given like that. It just doesn't happen. The point, and I'm ending this here, is to share the understanding. Not to claim it, not to own it, not that this is mine. No, just to share. So people can analyze and understand themselves. Not understand themselves, but understand it themselves. Understand the life itself. not the person speaking. That is the point of these videos, just information to understand all this. One thing at a time. That's all. Ooh, 2.5 hours. Yeah, I apologize if there was rambling or just... That was as it is. The only thing I chose today was to cover Gospel of Thomas, and that was it. I didn't plan anything. I wasn't scripting anything. So if anything went sideways or upside down, I apologize. Like I said, this is the first video. I'll get the hang of it. Because I just got done explaining the what I shouldn't have to keep repeating. And first I got to learn to stop repeating myself, stop over-explaining things, and just say it and then point, here's the explanation, go look. So, arrivederci.